series, movies. I think that's it. And you, Heitor?
So, my name is Heitor, as it's written here. I'm 26. I'm um, a scientist who loves to dance. I always been here in TNT all my pleasure because it's really nice to talk with you in different teams, and leadership is one of them that I love it too. And I also have a dog, a pincher, 15 years old, really old. And that is it. That is it. And you, Yasmin. I don't know you. Who is Yasmin?
So my name is Yasmin. I'm 21 years old. I live in São Paulo with my parents and my grandmother. I have 3 cats. And something about me is that I'm addicted to chocolate. So I need to eat chocolate every day. So chocolate is something that makes me happier. And what else? I work as a teacher and also as a transcriber and translator. And that's it about me. So let's start our conversation about leadership. And I want to know first, like, do you like to be a leader or not? Like at school or college, do you want to always be the leader or not? Heitor, what about you?
I always like it. I always like it during like my undergraduate students. When we oh, let's form some group, and I always change the people of my group or changing groups because I always like to be with different types of group to leading different types of people. I don't know. It's was like a how can I say masochist thing to do, but was great for sure. So I always like it to be this kind of relation in this group situation or work situation. Dude.
Yeah, I think it's good when you are a leader because you can do the things in the way that you want. Yeah, so I like it to be the leader because of this, but it's complicated too. And you, Gustavo?
Yeah, in the end, you have a lot of responsibility. So if you lead in the wrong way, if you did the bad thing, probably the first that they're gonna judge is you. That is the because you are the leader, so you guided in the wrong. Uh, from my experience, in my post degree, I there are some dynamics in some classes. They change the leadership of the group to see how it's gonna be. I was sometimes not the thing that I really like, but it's nice sensation. It's good, but it's not think that I would say that I would like to be a leader. I don't know. I think that is nice, but I in a company or something like that. I don't know if I go this position or something like that. Uh, but it's nice. But it's a nice sensation. And and you like you guys said, you can create your own way and follow it and test it and try new things and go on. But uh, it's not thing that I see myself being like 5 years, 6 years. I don't know. At least not now.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, I don't think it's a good thing to keep for like a whole life doing. As you said, I think it depends on the responsibilities too. So let's talk about this. So the first question is, leadership is not about necessarily being the loudest in the room, but instead being the bridge or the thing that is missing in the discussion and trying to build a consensus from there. Do you agree with this quote or not? Because I couldn't agree more. I think it's really about this. but I could see that people didn't understand what is to be a leader. So, and what about you, Heitor? Do you agree?
Agreed. Mainly of the part that you don't need to be the loudest in the room. I think this loudest leaders become like famous stuff in the internet, like in lectures or I don't know dynamics of some coach style. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's not a thing. It's not the real reason to be a leader. As saying here, to build bridges and try to focus on this consensus for all the people. You can do this in different ways and don't need to be the loud voice to do that. So yeah, for sure. I totally agree. What do you think, Gustavo?
Yeah, I agree as well. And reading that quote, I remember that Steve Jobs said something like that in a journal in an interview that said, "Oh, the guy asked for him if he always right when he was doing a meeting, if he was the last voice to speak. So the things that they are playing, they always succeed." And they said, "No, they need to. If I have good coworkers, good guys here work with me. There are some guys that's better me than me in some other position, so I need to listen it and to be a connect the things that they don't see, like a connect the financial with the other group, like to be a bridge, like there is in the phrase, to create something bigger that they can see. But obvious that I'm not gonna be right every moment because of that. That it's gonna be something like my ego saying that, oh, the voice of my mind is always true. That's not right. That's not true. And that thing that about loudest, that I think that's the old boss. There's a different word like boss and leader. That say, oh, I need to yell it, need to say that this. Or if I don't say that in the loud way, they're not gonna listen me, so I need to say, "Oh, go do that," or you're gonna get a punish or something like that. So yeah, I agree with that quote, that phrase.
Yeah, and like you said about Steve Jobs, and I want to know, do you remember about other name as a good leader, someone that you consider a good leader?
Let me think. Uh, I think that there's some people that are good like person, and don't need to be like a leader in a position, but to be a leader like a person, and achieve other. Uh, Simon Sinek that I said, there's a good. I think they are a leader, in a position, but there's others like Oprah and other that don't came my mind right now. But there's a lot of good leader in the world. At least when I see in the not work with him, not work with them, but in the other side. Uh, but I think they are good leader. At least they show that they are good leaders. That I think that, oh, that's a good person that I would like to work or something like that. So I think that that's nice. And you, Heitor?
I was thinking, I would say myself. I just kidding. But I like I will try to remember like some examples that I work with or that I have relation with because, like I said, when we are in the outside, it's different to evaluate in a good way. So I would say that some kind of professors that I had, professors that inspire me to be a scientist, for example. So this inspiration, all persons that I had contact that was like a leader on the position because I work in a junior company of biotechnology in my university. And we started this. So it was like everyone really raw and everything, but you could paint this kind of people that is like, oh, it's a good person because you see the all the stuff that transparency, all the things that the videos had is like all about that. So, and I reach this person as an example for myself for sure.
Yeah, very good. I think maybe a good leader is like someone who makes connection with others. Yeah, this is that's why maybe you feel that this person is a good leader. So the next question is really about this. Like, in your opinion, what type of leader is the best leader and why? So you can say like about characteristics that you consider someone a good leader. So let's start with you, Gustavo.
Just one thing, and you, who do you think that a good leader? Who is
A
the
good
good leader?
leader. Oh, I don't think it's really a good leader, but my mother is a good leader. But sometimes she don't want to listen to us. So just do the things that I'm asking for you. So I think sometimes she's a good leader, sometimes not.
Nice, nice answer. So the number three. Yeah, I think he is the best leader. I think that a leader that they can listen to you, that like you said, like to make connection. It's not like you feel comfortable to speak with him. It's not like you feel afraid. I think everybody already work with someone that said that's not your leader, but there's someone that in the company that say, "Oh, I need to ask with him because that's a problem person. That I don't want to talk with him because it's gonna I'm gonna feel bad. There's gonna be a bad conversation. Just gonna ask the basic thing, and you're not gonna feel well with that because yeah, the things that don't flow. Uh, so that person that said no, that's not a good person to work it, so probably not a good leader, because you don't feel a connection with him. Like, oh, I can talk with him with anybody. Maybe I can ask you with him to go to dinner to talk about other stuff. Is a thing that I feel comfortable. It's not like, oh, I'm afraid that they're gonna ask something to him, like, oh, I need to take a vacation. I don't know, the next month. So I afraid to ask with him because I don't know how they're gonna feel it and how you're gonna answer me. So I think that that person is not a good leader. I think good leader probably is something that can listen you, make that connection. You feel comfortable speak with him. You not feel like a barrier when you're gonna talk with him. Uh, and for the company is the person that in the company vision is the person that can make this connection, like, oh, I can connect this group that I don't know, the IT group with the production with the other, and create a good thing with that, a good project or good stuff. uh but I think that uh the 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 good thing is a person that listening, that you feel comfortable and understand the problem, and not like, oh, let's try to fix the problem, not see what was the problem. And you, Waiter.
Oh, it's really hard because I think it's not a recipe. Like, oh, to be the best leader for the world, you need to beat this. For me, it's like depends for the area, depends the group that you're leading. So I would say first, the best leader deliver the results that I expected. The first thing, and then how to do that, it's the way that it's fluid. As Gustavo said about to be comfortable. So for me, this be comfortable is about to make things go fluid or more simple or easier to understand, easier to do, and also to make the group that you are leading the best for each person, like took the best for each person. So how to be this person productive in the best way possible for this person, it's like a huge skills for the team leader, because you probably will have a like diversity group. You don't have like the same person at all, so you all need to work and deal in different way. So this fluid and capacity to take this best for each of them, I think it's the most skills needed. But as I said, will depend of the group and the area that are looking for. If it's a, I don't know, a conventional company that 1,000 years ago, and it's the policy of the company, blah, 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 blah. I hate that. But for some kind of things, will be the best for the companies. So
Yeah, but I sometimes I think that we create these barriers, like, oh, so he or she is my boss and I can't talk about other things. I just want to talk about job because I can see this in my job and maybe Phil is watching this. So I know that many people likes or prefer to talk with Bruna than with me and Phil too. I don't know if it's because she's always smiling too and we are so serious. Maybe because of this, people create some barriers too. So I think maybe the way that we communicate, yeah. So this is a problem. So, and like we are talking about the best leader, and what's the worst type of leader you can imagine? Because, like I said, that for me, the best leader is someone who listens to you, who listen to your ideas, who try to put in practice. But the worst is someone that don't listen to you. And what about you, Iter?
yeah, it's almost like the opposite. We can see the opposite skills and it will be the same. And it's like the person that is so focused to be a leader that forgot about the group, forgot about the everything else. So this person that it's like really, I don't want to say selfish in this way, but it's like didn't divide the power. So the person that don't divide the power, person that it's like focus on the result, whatever the means for it. I really don't like it too. The person that it's uh that no so communicative, open, open to receive critics, because critics about the leadership, it's like really important too. Uh and I'd say we can say a lot of like bad characters, like, yeah, this boss, you remember this boss? No, 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 no. It's like all this kind of phrase that it's like so usual. But of course, not you and few. Yes, don't worry, don't worry about it. You are not locating these worst leaders. Don't worry, don't worry. But I would say this first start this thing. So it's like the kind of leader that's focused in yourself so badly that can't be something for the group or else.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And what about you, Gustavo? What do you think?
Yeah, I agree what Heitor said as well. And mm, just going back a little bit to what Heitor said in the last question about the good leader, I think that that's a fun thing that sometimes you're a good leader for the company, but not a good leader for your members of your team, because maybe you get the results for a little time. Because if you're not working well with your team, probably your team gonna broke you. So, oh, they not helping us, so I'm not gonna help him, and so we're gonna take him in this position or gonna get fired or something like that. But they get the results, but they don't have a good communication. But otherwise, if has a good communication with their team, but didn't get the results, they come and said, "That's not a good leader. I need the results. I don't live with donation." So that is a big problem. So I think that the leader need to have this like walking glass, go a little bit here, a little bit that, but not so much here, not so much that because of the result. So I think the worst, like to be the loudest, that I am the leader, so I always write and criticize, like Heitor said. There's some stuff that there's some boss, I'm gonna say boss, that they can listen, criticize about the above him, but below no. So if he is my leader, say, oh, I don't like what you said, or the thing that you do, or the thing that how you treat this work, how you handle this project, or something like that. That's not a good thing because it's the below to above. And so that's a problem as well. Need to try to listen that there's a thing that when I said that I don't like the way you act or the project, the way you're doing, it's not that I don't like you. I don't like the way that happened, this stuff. And that's a hard thing to separate sometimes. Uh, to be the loudest, not to have this communication with the boss above and the team. Uh, mm, to separate power because the leader that always want to have the power of everything that happened in the company, everything that happened with the team, they do a little small stuff and I need to know, they need to pass to me to approve. That's a bad thing because the thing's not gonna flow. So you need to get the responsibility for every person. So I think that's it. There's more, like Hater said, but there's a one of them that it's a bad thing.
Yeah, you both said about like results, and maybe some people, like I can see that they make a confusion. Like, okay, so I'm my boss friend, so he will like understand why I'm not like delivering this kind of result. I can like talk about this. And so I want to know about you. Do you think it's possible to be a friend of your boss? Have you ever had this experience? How was it? So, Gustavo, you can start.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that the boss that I have right now, it's a good boss. We have I study with him in my post degree, so we have a little bit of communication. Uh it's a nice person to work. There's we can align the project. Uh I would say that th- the boss that I have, that one is the best, at least until now. Because they can manage, can handle this stuff, they can listen to me, say, oh, that thing not gonna work and stuff. But and otherwise, we are a team like two-person, me and him. So it's easy to be honest, because if I don't like you, my boss, it's just I don't like the half of the team. If I don't like the everybody, I don't like myself. So that's a that's a thing that's easy. I don't know with a lot of person on the team how it's gonna happen, but at least for me, and I think that's I can handle my stuff and I can help him and help me with other stuff as well. And the one thing that I like that they prioritize study, that in January I need to go to São Paulo. I live in the countryside to do a course and a competition. And I'm gonna be 1 week. Said, oh, that's for education. Go there. Let's put the vacation a little bit for you. So that if they see me study doing something that to help the company or help myself, that's it. Go on. Let's see how it's gonna be. We go and treat with the uh, research of humans and let's see how's gonna happen. But that totally free with that. So I'm gonna say that's a good leader for me. But like I said, it's just two-person, just me and him. So that's a little bit easy. And the editor.
I would say that it's possible, but don't need to be a rule. Like, oh, I have a boss, I need to be the friend of my boss. No, don't need to be a rule. So it's possible, and it's good. But in some case, I have both. I have like a boss that I was a really, really friend. I was like a kind of his son. I don't know, scientific son in this way, because he was the supervisor of my lab. I worked with him more than 6 years. So it was like a lot of time, a lot of time. And then this last job, my supervisor, she was like totally like the opposite of it. So I'd say that it's possible, but no need to be a rule, and it's not a problem. You understand that in a workplace, it's okay to be like a colleague, not a friend, and a good colleague, not a bad one. Like good colleague, but you don't need to be a friend. So you have to deliver, you have to be respectful, you have to be a lot of things, and not a friend, and it's not a problem, because at the end of the day you had a good relation with your colleagues also. So just this point.
Yeah, really nice what you said. And I think it's really important to know how to split this kind of relation too. But that's it. Don't need to be a rule too. So we can go to the next question. How can someone lead efficiently at a time of upheaval? So like a time that the company maybe is having a lot of problems. And let's start with you, Heitor. Can
Yeah,
you think
I,
about
I would
something?
say I'd say like we depended like the area, time of how big is this problem, or how big is my team. But first of all, it's to make the problem smaller. So what can we do by now? What's in our control? What I can do in favor for the company, in favor for the group, that it's like not feeling well is the same way the company. So I would say that it's like to um, how can I say, put in the same paper, put everyone in the same paper. So transparency about the problem and how would be the best way to deal with this. So as I said, it's like pandemic, I think, happened in all the directions, all the areas. So it's like okay, so you need to be sincere and honest about it. And when you talk about this with your team, like, okay, we can't have some clients, so we are not able to have so many employees as well. So the decision need to be clear and fast, because when you don't do these decisions faster, you make the problem bigger, even bigger. So the decision is to try to solve, and if you don't solve, you try other options and keep going. But I'll always do this transparency, honest, and you need to do what's in your control, and what is you need to do what you need to do. So if you had to be bad for the group, you need to be honest and talk about it, and it's the part of the problem. So that is
Yeah, very good. I totally agree with you. And I think maybe it's more difficult when we are talking about like the financial area. Yeah. So I totally agree when you talk, oh, it depends on the situation, on the area. So, and you, Gustavo.
Yeah, I agree as well. Depends of what crisis that happen, because financial is a problem. It's because of that I don't know that I'm gonna be a good leader, because if I need to fire someone, I always put in the position of that person and say, "Oh, they had 3 kids, they had two." So yeah, that's a complicated stuff. But I like what you said, that you need to be fast, because you need to take the decision, because if you saying not happen, they're gonna bigger and bigger, and it's gonna be a big problem. uh, so and transparency is important. uh Independent of the crisis, like a pandemic crisis is something that is out of our hand. So if you ask for a leader what happened in the world, they say, I don't know, that people are dying, that thing is bad, but I don't know what to do. Like you, we are in the same boat. So let's try to handle with that, the things that we can, and see how it's gonna happen. We don't know the future, don't know what's gonna happen the next step. So try to put things small, like Heitor said. I think is a important thing, and see what we can do and what we cannot do. That's a thing that I think we need to live in our life and say, oh, that's the problem that I can fix it. but that not my, it's not my fault. That's thing that I don't know. That's life. I think that the bad thing happens, unfortunately. Uh, so I think that that's an important step. Uh, yeah, I think that's it.
Um, And you said about like put your put the other person shoes, but I think it's really difficult when you like are a boss and you need to like to fire someone, but in the same way you need to do this, right? So like maybe like their life is not your problem if you are a leader.
Yeah, and maybe if you don't fire him, probably it's gonna be you. So
I would say that. I would say that if you don't fire, probably will be more people fired, including you.
Your whole team, including you.
Yeah. So I will skip to number 7 because we answered the number 6. So in what ways can leaders support their teams? Like Gustavo said something that I think it's really interesting that your boss supports you when you need to make a course or when you need to study. So and you, Heitor.
Oh, I really believe that I would say that will depend of the type of leading, but being an example. So most of the time, I don't know, example of value or example of the task or the type of the work that you're doing. So and show it that you can support what else the group you need because you are the example for it. That is would be one of the things. The other it's to like we said in the beginning, like be open to receive this what else the group would say for you, like if it's a critic, okay, so how can I help to, well, if it's a need, like, oh, I need to go to the course for something, okay, so this is a priority, so establish priorities with your team that it's like according to the value of yourself and the company or student, indeed, that will lead for the better indeed. And also make that's a good thing, and mistake when the group make a mistake, when the group had some problem, don't make this more a problem bigger than it is. I don't know if it's word, but it's like understood what is the problem and the cause or everything, but don't make this bigger than it is. So it's like the way to support the team to not make the same mistake again. So if you make some, I don't know, to be rude or dismotivated your team in some way with this problem, you make worse for the next tasks or the next or the other kind of situation that you had to deal or the same person will deal. So this is true, like to deal with the team problem in a way that it's like learning for everyone and beneficial for everyone.
Yeah, and maybe to not like make the person who made this mistake like feel ashamed. Yeah. So a good point that you brought. And you, Gustavo.
Yeah, good point, I think as well. To say different things, I'm gonna say that a kind of, I know, trusted place that if the boss or the leader or the company needs me, I don't know, in a vacation day or something like that, I'll be there. But the time that I need a little time, I don't know, I have a problem in my life, I have something like that, and I don't have mind to work, at least today, because I have a big problem. I don't know what happened, but they can understand that, not say, oh, we need to work and just work, because I'm not. Obvious, depend of the day, depend of what happened. Uh, the other thing that I can say that they can support, when you have a good member, your team, and they are bigger, they are growing up. So maybe they are growing up more than you, and maybe they get a higher position than you. So they say, I don't know, maybe you're gonna be your boss or not gonna be working other team, but to earn more and to be like a position equal or more than you in the company. So they need to understand that, say, no, dad's member is part of my team. It's just that he can go out of here. Or the other situation, I don't know, maybe that's not good for the company, I think so, but for the team, for the leader, I think is a good thing, because the different stuff, like for the company, always gonna be with the member of the team. But I don't know, he got a better job in other company with better money, or in other countries, something that they really like. You understand that that's life. It's a progress of her life, their career, and their career is not just in our company. The career is of him or her, his or her. So understand that that process can happen. And not feel like, oh, it's a bad thing. Like, uh, I don't know, I'm not gonna trust anyone because people are going to other company to get a better job or to get something that they like. So understand that the leader understand that, oh, that's a best job that you got, is something that is really nice for you. So if you are really interested, go on. That's your life. So, but to know that if there's an open door or something like that, so I'm gonna say that it's a good thing that happen with the team and the leader.
Yeah, so we agree that maybe like the perfect leader is someone who motivates you to to choose better opportunities. And so I was thinking here about like to be a leader, and I want to know, what do you think, if is there always stress with leadership? So like, oh, if you become a leader, you will get stressed. Do you think so, Heitor? What do you think?
Yes, it's like even though you love your job, like you love with your whole soul, you'll be stressed about it, because stress is not related with how good you are in this position, or how you like it, but stress is related how responsible you are for the things. So most of the time you'll be the responsible for all the stuff, and this needs like more time of you, more releasing for other things that you like it. So you need to be out of almost all the things to be responsible for this part, and you you'll be I don't know, more hmm, related with this kind of issues, like stress and other kind of mental issues, because it will be part of your job. Unfortunately, I swear, unfortunately, it's impossible to not be stressful. Even though the most kind person that I knew that was leader, uh, outside was like, oh, I'm fine, let's do this, let's do that, but inside was like a totally mess, because it's impossible. So what that's why I think one of the good skills, or the best skills also for the leader, is to deal with the stress, how to deal with the stress. So for me, it's impossible to not have it.
Yeah, I was talking with someone this last week, and the person said like, do what you love and you will hate it, because you will get so stressed that you will hate everything that you are doing. So, and I think that's totally true. And maybe when it's something that was your hobby and you started to work with this and in a leadership position, like it's the worst thing. So, and you, Gustavo.
Yeah, I agree. Uh, and that's the one thing that said that I don't see myself to being a good leader, at least for a long time. I don't know, 1 year you can try, 2 years, but for life, I don't think that's it's healthy for us, because you have a responsibility, a bigger responsibility in your company. You have responsibility to your family, with your wife or your husband, with your kids, with your career, like education, with a lot of stuff, and that our responsibility. And like in a company, maybe 100 person. I don't know how big is your team, and so you're gonna be stressful. And like you said about work with what you love and you're gonna hate, it's like, oh, maybe you love to be a teacher, but let's suppose that you're a Portuguese teacher and you're gonna read like 50 texts about the environment. So we're gonna say, oh, it's always the same thing. There's one some good that say, oh, that I inspire myself to read more. But there's one that said, oh, that's totally trash, to be honest. So but I need to read, I need to do I need to put a note there, I need to put a grade there. So it's my job. So I don't like to correct, test, correcting, but I like to be there, inspire people, and that's but and this thing. But there are stuff that I don't like. I don't like the bureaucracy thing and stuff like that. So yeah, you're gonna like some moments not, some moments gonna be bad. Like it's gonna be a little bit sad with your jobs, but that what happened in every job. There's moments that you are glad, moments that not so much, and the moments that you hate it. But uh yeah, I think that that's the problem. The big responsibility that you have. I don't know. That's a good thing for your whole life, because maybe you are there. There's a To be honest, I don't know that's right or not, if it's true or not. But in IT area, there's something that said that Steve Jobs is a good leader, but not a good father, or not good family member, because yeah, there's a fantastic guy for IT, for a company, for everybody, but for the family, not at all. So that's a problem. So we don't have the whole time of the world. So I need to put time here, a little bit here, but you can be really good in something, but really bad in others. So that's the balance that we try to have in our whole life, and we're never gonna achieve it, to be honest. So I don't know if I'm gonna be a good leader, if I want to be as well, if I would like to be.
Yeah, very good what you said. And you said like about there are things that we like and we don't like, and it will happen in our job too. So I want to know, is there something in your job that you don't like to do, or maybe that you hate to do?
For me,
Yeah.
there are some reports that I need to do for directors and for boss, stuff like that. So, that's a sad thing to do. I don't know. That's boring. I don't like, to be honest, but that's part of the job. And there are some stuff that I need to do. Say, oh, I already do that. Again to do that, or I fix some problem. I said, oh, I already explain how to fix it, but I need to explain again. And I know that's gonna be a problem again, that they need to go here and explain again. But yeah, that's part of the job. Unfortunately, that happened. There's others, but I think that's the most that's boring me.
Very good.
And you,
And
Ethan?
you, Victor?
Oh, I would say about writing the reports, the article. For me, like, it's like, and back in the Croatia, the company has daily, weekly, and monthly reports. It was like but I would say like writing, because it's took a lot of time, and it's not only like for you, you'll be recognized for that, but it's also like something that I don't know how to explain how hard it's disappointed it is to writing, but it's a whole process that it's okay. You need to do, do. Okay, yeah, that's the part of the science in this. Of course, I will write, but the worst part for sure.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think like I hate writing too, but it's when we are talking about like prepare the classes. Because I need to study a lot to prepare like the presentation and things like this. So I hate this part. But